everything we've been working 16-hour days for. That is everything we've been looking for, finally. Probably the worst thing that could happen. If you were to put me around bolt-ons and simple things like that, I would say I am advanced. I can figure it out. We can make it work. You put me in front of a wheel, and I know everything there is to know about that wheel, tire, coilover, air suspension. Guys, you and me, we're good there. But when it comes to wiring, I am like a toddler in a different country that doesn't know the language, which means figuring out how to install this ECU master is gonna take a lot of time, patience, and help from people who know a little bit more than me, which is why I had to reach out to Chris. Chris works at ECU Master, and before long, me and him and Dustin became the closest of friends because we spent over 14 hours on the phone together figuring this out.
You hear anything?
No.
Okay, let me test each one of these ignition outputs then. Here's 2. Hear anything?
No.
3.
No.
4. Here we go. Hear anything?
No.
Is the switch 12 volts for the coils, is it connected with the fuel pump relay possibly? That works. Okay, now connect cylinder 2 coil. Okay, now take off here. Let me just check it one more time here. Ignition out 2. Here we go. Nothing?
No.
You don't have 12 volts to the rest of those coils, so take off coil 3 and do the same test. Turn it back to the 20 on the DC volts to show the same 1.5 volts.
Yeah, 1.8-ish, yeah.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that wiring. But especially if one of them is getting 12 volts, the other ones are not, that's an issue.
8.95. So we have power from to the black-white on these connectors when I ground to the block on all 4.
So we are good.
Okay, immediately buy him a beer.
All right.
Let's try now.
Yep.
1's good.
Nothing on 2. Nope, nothing on 3.
Yeah, we're not very close. We're not very close, are we?
No, because I mean you've got chassis power issues. Okay.
Let's start back at the beginning. We'll see if we can source that out. We know now that we can at least, we know how to test out those injector,
You know how to troubleshoot.
Yeah. I try not to get too technical in my videos, but I think I have to explain what's going on. We have a Honda K Pro V4 that we had in the car. At the previous video, I told you about how the engine itself just seemed to sputter under load, some sort of protection that was built into the tune. But on top of the fact that the Honda wasn't really working for our needs, we also had an inoperable dash. We had sensors that didn't seem to be connected to the right places. And while the car ran and did well, we needed to actually get a brain behind the car, something that we could diagnose in real time and monitor in real time, which is why we went with the ECU Master. We got the ADU7, we got the EMU Black, we got the plug and play, and every part needed to tell the car, fingers, knees, and toes, what's going on. So we just got done, we were on a phone call for 2 hours, 40 minutes with ECU Master, and we are nowhere close. We have power going to cylinder 1. Cylinder 2 through 4 for the injectors are reading 1.3. That is a very big difference. I don't know much about electricity, but you want it to be the same across the board.
Do we have a bad coil that's drawing power? If they run in a sequence, does it, I'm just throwing, I'm free balling. I don't even know if this is possible. But if they run in a sequence,
I just want to drive cars. I don't want to work on them.
Or one bad ignition coil.
Hold on, he's cooking.
Gonna pull power. Watch, if I plug this into 2, where does this go? Okay, 2 is plugged in, key is on, ECU is on. The moment I plug one of these guys in, 2. I lose 12 volts the moment I plug a coil in.
Into any of them?
Let me
Yeah, try like 3.
To anyone.
Now, if you tried like one of these.
That's what I'm saying. Let's try another one.
Here's one of our mystery dilemmas with the car. This connects to our O2 sensor on the other side, probably MAF or whatever you want to call it, right here. When we were testing it, it was getting really hot, so we disconnected it. But then we realized we don't think it's going anywhere, but it's still driving or drawing voltage. And so if we're chasing things down to figure out why it goes from 14 volts to 1.27 volts, we might as well get it out of here. We also ended up ordering another plug/sensor to replace that from ECU Master. Hopefully we'll get here in time. I think I have it on like overnight or 2-day because we have to get this thing past its initial startup sequence before next week. Otherwise, the risk of us not being able to make it is going to get pretty high. So Jackson is trying his best. We are trying our best, and the internet is helping us along the way.
The plug and play is backwards?
Yeah, like out of the plug and play into the EMU. Ignition coil 1 is in the 1 spot when it's supposed to be in 8. There's nothing in 8. And then 2, 3, and 4 are all switched around.
That's what it was.
What?
2 15-amp fuses.
Are you kidding me right now?
The main fuse for the ECU
Was popped?
was popped, and then the coil pack fuse was popped.
Wait, so like we should check and make sure it works. I don't, if I get excited and it doesn't. That's not to say we didn't struggle quite a bit. Jackson, Dustin, and I kept chasing blown fuses. We kept chasing switched 12 volt, and we kept testing things, trying to make our VVT, solenoid, VTEC, solenoid, and injectors click on and do what they were supposed to do with this new Deutsch connector that we wired in, which some of it, I would say about 80% of it was right, but the 20%, unfortunately, is what went wrong. With wiring, you can't have 80% accuracy. You have to have 100% accuracy. So after a long night of chasing wires and using test lights and multimeters, after another long night, we were finally able to get everything connected and give it a good old test to make sure she was still running strong.
You're fired.
We're so smart. Yes! You have no idea how long this has taken. You might be typing in the comments, why didn't you check the fuses at the beginning? That would have saved you so much time. Let me tell you, we did. We did, and then we touched stuff. And then we made the analogy about electricity being water because it's the only way this brain can comprehend how it works. And then we checked the fuses again, still didn't work. Then we found this, still $20 bounty, if you know what this is. This is great news, however, we're not out of the woods yet. We still have to confirm we can do what we need to do, because then I can send an 8:30 email to ECU Master to book me time tomorrow. Holy I have to say, above all else, Chris did an incredible job. I don't know if he gets a raise for compliments or what, but this man had the patience of more than anyone I've ever met before in my entire life. Chris, I salute you and your blue RX-7 and the monotone voice you had with me for 13 hours, even though we were having the greatest of times. I would not be able to sit here and talk confidently about how awesome it was to work with this product if it weren't for you. All right, so we ran into another problem. And as we're filming this, we're hoping you can help us, but hopefully by the time you're watching it, we've fixed it. So we have the coil packs clicking, good. Turnover, good. However, we're not seeing spark on cylinder 1 and 3. 1 and 3. And so we're gonna go back to checking continuity from the ECU signals to the injector pins of 1 and 3 to make sure that they're good, because now that we have a good baseline, we should be able to retest it again and hopefully find the problem. So instead of having 10 things that could be wrong in the list, now we have like maybe 8 things that are wrong in the list. We started all the way back at the beginning because everybody on the internet told me to. And I think what ended up happening is we got a couple things crossed around. We had a fuse that was blown, and then we added another ground, and then we ran it through again and it worked just fine.
Oh, Okay, all right, cool.
0.8.
I got, yep, 8.0 across one way. And if I flip the plugs around, I have, yeah, 7.9 the other way. So right on the money both ways.
Take pin 9 first, ignition coil 3. Remove the gray connector from the EMU with the key off. Wrap and tape wires around your probes on the meter. Put it on ohms and stick one of those wires into that pin 9 terminal that goes to the EMU.
Got it. Okay.
He's just busting. Well, ready. Chelsea's got the fire extinguisher just in case.
Woo! Well, we still have a lot more to do, but we did it. Jackson, I could kiss you right now. Corey, I could kiss you right now. I could kiss you too, Chris. I'm sorry I forgot about you. I'd kiss you too. It's just weird to say in a second clip because I had a chance to think about what I said. Now I'm not excited. It's like after the activity clarity, you know, whatever. I'm so excited.
Idle's good.
Dude, it idles so good. It idles way better. We're gonna do a full run all the way up the RPMs just to test and see how does it sound, how does it look on the graphs. Let's give it a shot. Good? Yep. That is everything we've been working 16-hour days for. That is everything we've been looking for. Finally. Oh, this has been so much learning, like 3 months worth of learning to do this. And I know it sounds so simple. I know there's people on the internet doing way wilder things, but figuring this out has been an absolute challenge. And to get it, to have it like this, it sounds better than ever before, guys. Idle's better than ever before. Such a huge step in getting this car ready for actual racing and dialed in right with the right parts. We're so much closer. It's wild that like something very light happens and you can be like, oh yeah, let me just
a little starting delay, we'll just get in there, move some shit around.
We're just gonna move it, we're just gonna move. We're gonna interpolate the cranking fuel #1 lambda table.
What do you want rev limiter at?
Rev limiter for 7100. That's what we had it at before.
My man.
Chris, you were incredible. Thank you.
Say that one more time.
It's already on video, brother. We got it.
No, thank you, Chris. Bro,
What an emotional roller coaster.
we started this week not knowing, and my first phone call with him was everything's to this.
2 fireballs.
Oh, that was good. We're not done yet, but that was a 3-hour and 20-minute secondary initial startup phone call that got us to here. Now we have to get everything tidied up, everything put on, because we still got to make it to a dyno to get a full dyno run and get all that done in 2 days. So, okay, well, ECU Masters, Chris deserves a raise, a hug, a kiss under the belt, whatever it takes.
Wait, what do you want to know?
So how are we looking for tomorrow? All things considered, dyno tune takes how long? 3 runs, 6 hours, 4 days?
I'd say given that everything is together and running and working and pending no leaks, it should be...
Why you gotta say it like that?
There were so many case exemptions he just said in that one.
Unless the weather is warm, or it's a Tuesday, or...
It's 75 degrees.
All right, cool. So, okay. So assuming Things go well. Car's got a base map.
Yep.
We're talking
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
5 to 7 runs, typically.
4 to 6 hours, probably.
I guess depending on how much wiring it takes, and like this should be pretty easy, but he's probably just gonna run it up with that group of wire, run it back, blah, blah, blah. Probably, what time are you getting there?
What's that?
No later than 11, or no,
Nope.
earlier than 11.
No, earlier. So I would imagine probably 3 or 4.
I personally am under the belief there's going to be 1 or 2 small hiccups tomorrow.
Oh,
But
for sure.
I don't think it's anything mission critical. My hopes have never been on a Six Flags roller coaster like this before. I thought it felt like I was watching a horror movie, except there was no good or bad ending. It was just suspense the whole time. But man, it felt good. Getting this car off the jacks. Guys, I was feeling it. We were there. I think we might make it. There's only one place we could take it to, only one place in this Midwest wonderland that had a dyno that was willing to take on the project and do it well. Lindgreen Supercars. Now, supercars you might think are Lamborghinis and Ferraris, but Kyle and his team work on a little bit more LS K-series kind of things. So figuring out a K24 for right around 400 horsepower shouldn't really be a problem. I'm one of those people where I never get too excited until we're at the actual finish line, until we've crossed that line and there is no risk that we're celebrating too early. I'm a pretty, well, I might say cautiously optimistic kind of guy, but things were looking really good. And we were on the dyno actually earlier than we thought. Baseline runs showed us that we were making right around 300-ish wheel horsepower, but this is where it got weird. As we were putting on the finishing touches for the tune, we were coming to the end of the day. Kyle grabbed me as I was looking around the shop and let me know that something terrible had happened. The rod in cylinder 3 had, well, it destroyed the block. We don't know why, we don't know how, but it did. Oh my God. Hearing this news really, it sucked. And it's not Kyle's fault. You know, when I was sitting outside and you can see that I'm a little defeated. The motor we put in here was a low mileage JDM K24A. It shouldn't have blown up.
So the other thing that's a little interesting about that is there's also a lot of fuel. It was like 16 pounds. It was real light on timing. It was like 9 degrees of timing. It was arguably a little fat. I think the rod broke.
Explode, it just dents and then melts. So I'd be curious on what they put into the engine.
Sure.
And even the rods generally don't like explode like that. They'll bend and then crack.
Crack and then fly out because they're steel.
Yeah.
Probably the worst thing that could happen. This car, man. This car has given me a really hard time. It does not want to do what we are trying to do to it, and it's hard. the team, Jackson, Dustin, Becca, everyone that's tried to help make this car get to Road America this weekend. I mean, for something as bad as it did for it to blow up like that is just such a gut punch. So we're back to square one. I had a goal of trying to race this car all year, and this was the one event that I told myself I wouldn't miss, and I think we're gonna miss it. So we will keep trying, and we will figure it out. So thanks for watching. Hey!